Okay, hello, and welcome to session 30 of the Crossmeet campaign. Well, you missed a couple weeks there, do some real life shit. We're back. Let's see, previously in Kulthania, the party returned from Cerner after rescuing some of Cerner's townsfolk from a church that was trying to convert them into minions working for an evil god. When they got back to Crossmeet, they found that their house construction work was mostly complete. And then early the next morning, they were awakened by screams in the town, and a Nereid had appeared, a 20-foot-tall blue lady who said she was sent by her uncle, a king in some underwater sea, to punish the town. She challenged you off of Jawdat's suggestion by calling forth an iron golem, which you guys, with some help from the townsfolk, pulverized into dust. So it is now mid-morning. The townsfolk is starting to disperse. Ivan has asked you to come see him when you get a chance. Same with Eppen. He mentioned that to Jawdat. There's townsfolk patting you on the back and beginning to disperse. The Nereid Sateri has returned to the ocean. It's snowing lightly, flakes, but softly, and mixed in the snow and mud is a scattering of this iron golem dust. And so that's where we'll start. So let's go right with Tolraun. So what are you doing there, Tolraun?
Alright, so this is right after we've defeated the golem?
It's actually about 10 minutes after, because afterwards Terry talked to you. She destroyed a fence to technically make the contract what her uncle sent her to do, and then she left. Wrong and Slag thanked you. Ivan thanked you, said come see me. Eppen thanked you, said come see me, and the townsfolk mostly dispersed. There was a woman at your side, and she's gone.
Our fence, was it?
No. It's the opposite side of town.
Yeah, good.
Oh, good.
That was a huge plot point, getting that fence. It's destroyed. Alright, Tolraun's just catching his breath. He was taking down that fight. Okay. I'm not going to rush into any fights with giant iron creatures anytime soon.
So the rest of you were there, as I said, in this mud and snow-covered street as it snows lightly. Some of the crowd are still patting you on the back and thanking you for your efforts.
Okay. I assume I still have my mage armor sort of shimmering around me. So you see this plate armor around me, and little flakes of snow falling against it, and like,
cool.
Kind of just melting as it hits it.
Cool. Excellent.
I turn to the room and I say, well, I don't think that there are many of these around as such.
Oh, good.
They're not easy to make. They're not easy to make, and even harder to transport. Well, normally.
Remind me, sometime in the future to track. Oh, right. The guy who made it died. Remind me to go to the foundry and kick his corpse around a little.
If you may recall, when you were bravely at getting the dust the first time, you found his body crushed flat, literally like squished flat.
Not crushed enough in Tolraun's mind.
I kind of turned to him and say, hey, you thought about using like weapons rather than just your bare hands? I can't help but think that hitting that cold, hard metal must have been really rough on your on your images.
No, I've learned to.
I mean, you know,
it's
sort of
fine.
something.
I've learned to channel. I've learned to channel my ki into my fist. When I strike something like this, I don't need to worry. I show my rules, and they're not actually that damaged, but they're kind of up.
At least he could harm it. Says Balmera, looking haggardly, completely covered in mud and snow, some blood, maybe some acid poison. Yeah, let's not fight any more of those. I don't think I have it in me to one more go.
Let's go get something to eat.
And then sleep.
Okay. You guys had mentioned you might want to gather up some of this dust.
Yes. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to do that.
Yeah, it's literally kind of like scattered. I mean, there's certainly small piles of it. But...
Well,
Right.
actually, I'll try and use prestidigitation. Since that's pretty good at like removing like small particles from your clothing, I'm gonna try and like clean the ground sort of like, with it, and just kind of sweep up as much as I can. Sort of, it pulls up from the air that's still floating down gently, and I'll kind of swirl it into this little, kind of ball of rotating, slightly compacted dust.
I'm not so confident that prestidigitation is smart enough to know that this dust isn't dirt to be clean and this dust is. But to speed things up, I'm going to say you guys can recover about 4 times the amount you recovered the first time for Avalov.
Okay.
Roughly 4 times that. But you're going to need a container to put that in.
Okay.
I
will take off my hat.
Your what? Your hat, you said?
Yeah.
My hat, yeah.
I mean, it'll at least work temporarily.
Yeah. So I'll get the hat, and I'll be like sweeping some up from the air, like off of the grass. Because I mean, I'm assuming you can differentiate between little metal bits and grass. So I have it kind of, sweep off the grass, put it in there, and so we get this kind of like heavy. My hat's bulging and has this mound of stuff, and I kind of put my coat over it. It's like, yeah, we're gonna need. I kind of look around for the nearest shop that might sell something that has a container.
It would be the equivalent of about a 2-liter bottle. Or you have those in quart bottles? Anyway.
Yeah. So I'll quickly glance around. Maybe I'm not sure where we are at this point, but Potter or glass blower or someone who might have a container, and I'll just like grab my hat.
Can't he just summon a container with his conjuring trick?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yes, I will. It'll last for an hour at least. So yeah, I summon a jar, with a lid, thin air. Size one. I put 2 handles on it. I make sure there's 2 handles on either side, so I don't have to carry it by myself.
Okay.
And I dump my hat into it and give it a good tap and shake it off to get the rest off, and hold this thing up with 2 handles and look at it and think.
It's quite heavy.
Well, yeah. This is gonna last about an hour, so we should probably get to someplace safe within that time.
Well, your home's only like 10-minute walk away. Your house.
Yeah, and we have that empty treasure chest back home, so we might as well put it in.
Okay. Can someone maybe get some leather pouches? We can divide it up into smaller portions, so we can sell it to Eveloff at a higher price. Maybe with a little dirt.
Everything has an angle.
You guys are down here by the graveyard. The house is back up here.
Wait, where are we?
You're down by the graveyard.
Oh, okay, I see the point. Okay, gotcha. Oh, okay. So we're way down there. Okay.
Your house is down
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, so I'm making my way back to the house. If I can get someone to help me with one of the handles, 'cause it is heavy.
Balmera will help you.
I'm not frail, but at the same time,
Okay.
No, of
it's
course
a
not.
long walk with a big jar full of iron.
He's not frail. He's just not built for lifting.
On the way back to your house, you get a lot of thank yous, people patting you on the arm and shoulders, expressing their gratitude for what you've done for the town. And when you get back to your house, you can see that the gnomes are working on the roof, finishing off the roof for the barn. From inside your house, you can hear some kind of digging, scratching, perhaps.
Balmera is too tired to care at this point, so she'll just go straight to bed.
Okay. When the source of the sound is Rogi, and he's working on your stone basement. He's under the floor, the main floor. Yeah, you guys haven't been up long. This attack occurred in the morning.
Yeah. Transfer this valuable iron out of the vessel and it's some more less likely to vanish after an hour.
Okay.
Maybe a leftover container we had from some food or whatever, but I'll just put it in there for now. We'll sort it out later. I'm not really worried about contaminants because, fuck Everlop. But what I do is once I get that sort of like put off to the side, now that I can create something else, I go back out, I peek my head out the door, and I'm gonna produce a flower on the ground near our house, just out in front of the doorstep.
Like a stone flower, you mean, or something, or a wooden flower?
No, just like a flower.
Just create organic objects. I don't think you can create organic objects.
I don't know. Don't know. I'll take a look, but
All right. In any case, you create something that really looks like a flower outside your house.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. And so,
as I said, it's snowing, big flakes coming down softly. You can hear hammering just from behind your house. The roof being put up. People walking
kind
by.
of planting a seed. It's kind of like when street performers, they put out a hat or something like that, and they put some money to start it, so people will see it and know they didn't just throw money into it. So I'm gonna put this flower out there.
Okay.
So other people will think that other people put it.
You're hoping to start a garden, a flower garden?
Well, just I've noticed that we have garnered the town's goodwill, and I want to keep that going.
Okay.
Because it works to our advantage to have the town on our side.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Because all it takes is one person running out of the house, like, they brought that apart, blah, 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 crazy people. So I want to garner as much sympathy for us as possible.
Okay. Jawdat, are you
Because I
doing
see the
anything
other
in
shoe.
particular?
What's that?
Are you doing anything in particular?
I might wander up to the temple and go see Eppin.
Okay. Sure.
But
what did you want to speak to him about? When you get there, he's certainly happy and glad to see you. Again, while you were always recognized before, Of the four of you, your character had probably the most standoffish citizens of the town, being a half. That seems to have somewhat faded now, like markedly, and people are openly friendly to you, smiling to you, and again, expressing their gratitude for what you've done for the town.
Yes, good. This only makes them weaker when my people invade. No, Eben told me to come by and see him, so.
Right. So he invites you into the back room, and he says that he wants to thank you for the efforts you made for the town. He was glad that he was able to help, and he wonders if maybe when you're ready to settle down, you'd consider a better position in the church, something more permanent and requiring less travel.
Yeah, something here or in Cerner?
Why not?
Or
Why not?
Because you are here and Joseph, he is already here. And, oh, this is a big picture.
Yeah, I got the wrong picture, sorry.
Look at my chest. It's a manly halfling chest. Is perhaps something, yes. I have not given it thought, but perhaps. Yeah. So I would work here alongside with you.
For a time, and then I would retire and you would take over. Well, just consider it. Consider
Yes.
it. It's certainly been profitable for myself and Joaquin. Speaking of which, this isn't profitable, but you are. Let's say the church considers you a valuable asset, one we'd like to keep around, and so consider this an investment in furthering that. He goes over to a drawer and he pulls out a drawer and he takes out a flask. It's a fairly small flask, only slightly flanged at the bottom. He hands it to you. He said, "This will heal you once when you get injured. Just be careful."
Yes. Yeah, thank you, friend. Yeah. Hopefully I will not have to use it, but there is no telling.
If that's the case, feel free to bring it back. It is rather valuable.
Come back with
But
the
if you
empty
need to stay alive,
come
feel-
back with the empty bottle and says, "This didn't work. Can I have another?"
In any case, the church considers you a valuable asset, and well, we'd like you to be around for some time.
I appreciate this. Yeah, I will think about what you've said. And I know for the next bit, of course, I still have things I must do for Lady, the elf lady. And after that, perhaps we could have a breakfast at 3 and talk more about this.
Of course, I would enjoy that.
Well, thank you, my friend. Also, I clap him on the shoulder for helping with the golem this morning. It was most fortuitous that you were able to lend a hand.
I would have felt I could do no less for the town that helped support me.
Yes. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully, it will be less eventful in the morning.
So he thanks you and sees you out. Anybody else want to do anything particular today?
No.
No, Balmera
Good.
Balmera's just sleeping. She collapses on the bed with. She just managed to take her coat off, but keeps the boots and everything on, and just collapses.
Okay. Again,
Is-
it's still morning, but yeah, I can see you being exhausted.
Is there a tinsmith in town? I'm assuming so.
There's a blacksmith for sure, and there's also some like crude blacksmiths. Brogan is your main
Why
guy.
don't know if there are tinsmiths tend to make things like small lanterns and things like that. You know, more of a tinker than a blacksmith who works with iron and so forth.
Okay. What is it you're looking for?
Well, basically, I want to get a small little sort of medallion made, just out of non-precious metal, just either tin or some alloy, and basically I want to make it kind of like this little kind of concave little medallion about 2-3 inches in diameter.
Okay. Sure.
I mean, it shouldn't. I mean, it's just made out of either tin or some other shiny material that can be polished a little bit, and
Okay.
not just a little concave thing with that has like a little loop that I can put a.
Copper seems cheap in the world. How about copper?
Something more silvery, like tin would be better.
All right. Fine.
If I have to, I'll pay for silver, but tin would be fine.
No, but I'll say maybe 5 silver just to have it done, just for the.
Yeah,
labor.
that's fine. Yeah, it's not a complex thing. I'm not looking for ornate decoration or anything like that. The main thing is, like I said, having the little concave sort of little dish and a little loop at the end so I can wear it on a thong around my neck, that kind of thing. A little leather
All right. Sure.
strap.
Sure.
So,
You can just mark
so,
off
yeah.
5 silver. 5 silver for that.
Well, I'll actually give them a gold for expediency, since we're gonna, I'm not sure when we're leaving, so I want to make sure that I have this in time. So I'll give them a crown for.
Okay, so you're told it can be ready by the next morning.
I say thank you very much, and I double check their measurements and make sure it's what I want, and I'll head out.
Yeah, they would get you to do like a crude drawing of it and then go from that.
Yeah. I mean, again, being a wizard, I'm used to working with pen and parchment. So,
Sure.
but
No problem.
after that, I kind of like Balmera's idea, and I'm going to kind of go back to the house and rest it off, because even though I didn't necessarily take a lot of damage, it was a lot of effort to do what we did. So. I'm pretty burned out, so I'm going to pretty much go back to the house. I'm going to sit in front of the fireplace. I have a nice cup of tea. I kind of just fold my legs, and I'm going to go into a deep meditation as I sit, before the fire, sort of like, burning in the fireplace, and just, relaxing.
Okay. Bade comes by at one point in the afternoon, and he says, the lady knows what you've done for the town yesterday, and she asks that you come pay her a visit for dinner, but tomorrow evening, not tonight. Rest first.
I kind of glance around at my companions to make sure that they're all on the same page as I am, so let me know if you're not. But otherwise, I will say yes. Who would be there?
Okay. Does anyone want to visit Ivan this day?
No, but I'm gonna go hang out in the 3 and accept as many free drinks and free food as people offer me that afternoon.
Surprisingly, even
Faye?
Faye herself buys you a free meal.
Well,
and one free drink.
right.
As for the rest, the townsfolk have you covered.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I'll sit there and chat with anybody about the South or our adventures or just whatever, and just enjoy free drinks and free food. And if Balmera or Tolraun or Grimm come by, then I'll include them into whatever
Yeah, when the rumor spreads that Faye is actually buying, so
Balmera just wakes up, huh?
yeah.
I snap over like.
She's buying each of you.
That actually should be Balmera's like bonus superpower, like sensing free alcohol. The eyes snap open within a mile radius.
If you say the word free, Balmera will know about it.
Right. I sense free alcohol within a mile radius. It's here somewhere. I know it.
I have a
I probably will go there for like an early dinner and find Jawdat and see him with all these empty glasses on his table and after a moment it hits me what he's been doing, so I'll sit down with him and raise my hand for service.
In fact, Jawdat, the people are the most approachable that you've ever seen, and maybe since you've even left the Yellow Sea. No one seems to be phased by the fact that you're a half-orc or bothered by it.
Nice.
Well, then, yeah, I'm pretty jovial and, telling stories about my father, the merchant down south, and, maybe going into a little more detail about, some of the customs, because I imagine not too many people up here have been that far south, so.
No, yeah.
Yeah, you get some people expressing genuine interest. Probably not going to have too much luck selling water, but other things you might.
Right.
Okay.
As I was gonna say, as the evening sort of wears on, I'll and I have some drinks in me. I'll probably, kind of get to the clear spot on the floor where they have the bards usually perform, and I'll begin sort of regaling people with a tale of from my past, but I will use a pseudonym, talking about a dark tale about a young wizard who
Some
was
wizard named, say Silas.
right, who was compelled by his master to slay those who did not earn it, and only those who really know him would, maybe some of those in his group, depending on their understanding of him, but see this sort of like what's I'm looking for, this deep emotion on his face as he talks about the killing of these innocents at the behest of his master, and thinking at the time that he was doing the right thing, that he was doing what was necessary, and only learning later that it was something else. And he kind of finishes with, perhaps the room sort of silent as he finally bows and, using prestidigitation, casts a single spotlight on himself. And bows.
Okay, excellent. You're at the north end of the part of the three. And there was a stage. And yeah, people are definitely, you got the rapt attention, more so than normal. The people also seem to be drinking a little bit more than normal, which delights Faye.
That always helps.
And the evening passes without incident. Faye, at one point, asks if you'll be staying at the 3 tonight. Could
by
a great deal on a room
her,
tonight, Gary's, if you're interested.
By her expression, does it sound free?
No, she mentioned a discount.
Oh. Let me guess which temple she goes to. Never mind. Is it a good discount?
It's basically give you half off, or if you want.
I'll take half off, eh?
Okay.
So yeah, thinking about it, I could really use a good bath and some quiet and
Well,
private
you can get
time.
the full you can get the full luxury room if you want for 2 gold. Normally it's 4, but for 2 crowns you can get the full luxury room.
Yeah, Balmera will take her up on that offer.
Yeah, I mean, 'cause
All right.
as she's talking about it, I kind of look at my ring, the invisible one, and or I look at where it should be, and I kind of twirl it around my finger with my hand, and I think about what's coming, and yeah, maybe I just get this little sense of something dark on the horizon, and I decide that it's worth the money to have a fine evening of relaxation, some pampering perhaps.
And you certainly haven't had to pay for any food or drink tonight, so.
Yeah, so I will give her 3 crowns for
Okay.
a bath and the best room and some excellent food brought up and maybe some extra drinks.
She gives you room on the top floor of the 3, the third, which is the 3rd floor, the southern end of it. Suites with good view. They come with a full bath, silk sheets on the bed, 2 windows, dresser, a wardrobe, a desk with iced water. And anybody else going to stay at the 3? If you're staying at the 3, you can cross off a couple of gold. Otherwise, you can go home. Mm-hmm. If there's anything else you want to accomplish this evening, just let me know.
That is the tree's motto. Pay up or go home.
Pretty much true of all bars, isn't it, really?
Fair enough, yeah.
20 minutes, you haven't ordered.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, Balmera will pay the 2 crown and enjoy the evening.
Okay. So wherever you're staying, the evening passes without incident. When you wake up the next day, it's slightly overcast and it's cold, but there's no snow. So whoever slept in the 3, that's where you wake up in a nice room. There's a fresh pitcher of water there. At some point, fresh linens were placed outside your door, fresh towels, that is. Anybody else at home, you have a comfortable sleep. And so you wake up, it's the 27th of Rodney. At some point, Ivan wants to see you, and for this evening, Sever wants to meet with you.
So as soon as I get up, I'll probably go. Okay, sorry.
I was just asking, can I assume we meet up at some point?
Absolutely. Just tell me where you're going from there.
Yeah, I was going to probably after breakfast we'll head back to the house, round up our companion, then head over to Ivan's, I assume, because he did want to see us, and we do kind of owe him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So when you get to the guardhouse where Ivan is, a Dane is with the young human guard, and he tells Dane to stand outside, and he invites you guys in. He sits at the desk. There's only 2 chairs. He's sitting in one of them. And he sits back, and he takes out a pipe, something you've only seen him do once before. And he kind of stares at you all a long time before he speaks. He says, I was wrong. Or at least I've changed my mind. When you first came to Crossmeet, I didn't want you here. Adventurers bring trouble, and I don't think that's changed, but The town has certainly been better for having you here. I just wanted you to know that I'm glad you came to Crossmeet, and I'm glad you're here. He pauses and looks at you for reactions.
I probably feel slightly ashamed at some of the things I've done. Even manipulating part of the people, some of the people in town, and so I kind of look down. I don't meet his eyes. I say, "Look, we're just folks like anyone else, and maybe we could do more than most, but." We're I think I can safely say, and I kind of glance around, that we're the better for knowing some of the people in this town too.
He nods. He looks at the rest of you.
But Balmera will just nod at what Grimm says, what Ivan says. It doesn't.
So after a pause, oh, sorry, I'm sorry. I thought you were dead. Sorry.
She's trying to determine if this is a huggable situation or not.
Humans and their crazy custom.
Am I in danger of being hugged at this point?
Okay, if no one else says anything, after a short time, he gets up and he looks out the window and he turns to you and he goes, "Indeed, I'm glad you're here. I suspect this Crossmeet is going to need you. Well, at least more defenders soon. Early reports from the capital are coming back in, and they're not good. Capital has been mostly destroyed, although I'm told the invading army has been stopped. The king is dead. Most of the army has been wiped out. Even if this kingdom manages to get itself back on its feet, it's going to be a long time before we see any kind of reinforcements or support way out here."
Have the elves done anything? And in my mind, I'm sort of picturing the map of front and this huge portion of forest with the elves kind of occupying the center, and have they done anything to help?
Orcus's forces appeared south of Anrock and marched towards the capital, razing everything in their path, increasing their numbers. When they reached the capital, they were met by a force of 15,000 soldiers, less than 1,000 of which survived.
So who attacked? You know that?
It was undead, thousands of them, making more as they came. As they slaughtered their soldiers, the soldiers fought against their own fallen comrades.
Oh, she kind of looks horrified at the thought of that many undead.
Is there any notion of who's behind this?
They have been stopped. The invading force has been defeated, but the destruction is, well, tremendous. The kingdom will be reeling for decades recovering.
Does anyone know who's behind all of it? I mean,
it seemed that Orcus was leading the attack.
Orcus himself? Is that possible? I look to Jawdat, leading almost.
Yeah, this is possible. It's not common at all. And even if he was defeated, obviously he is not completely defeated.
I feel slightly angry because I was sort of I felt, at least slightly friendly towards Joaquin, and I kind of stepped towards him and kind of almost direct a little bit of anger at Jawdat. It's like, don't the gods do anything about this sort of thing? Shouldn't they step in?
Yes.
I mean, this is an abomination, isn't this? Why would they allow this sort of thing to happen?
I suppose so, yes, but if you are a small child's game and one parent gets angry and starts yelling and kicking other people, if all of a sudden all the parents, the adults, they start fighting also, it destroys entire child game. Gods are like adults, we are like children. Do you really want more than one god down here using his magic, her magic? There would be nothing left. Instead, those gods, they turn to people like us, people in the towns, in the cities that stopped Orcus. Do you think for 1 second, if Orcus was there in person leading the charge, that the simple bows, arrows, war horses of the forces, that they were the ones that laid this god low? No. It's not possible. It's definitely the work of a god, just through people.
At this point, Balmera is just sitting, rolling her eyes.
It is not possible that these people did it themselves. So, yes, the gods do get involved. Just not in the same way.
Yeah, that's an easy excuse. I kind of turn away and.
Oh,
and,
I'm sorry. And the mighty wizards, where were they? Or the dwarven families? Or
Well,
the monks from all the monasteries?
Well,
Are we going to individually go to all of them and blame them also?
Well,
Was it their lack of foresight?
there was a lot of soldiers dying, and since this is front, I assume a lot of dwarves died defending the capital. I mean, the king died. And he's
I would
dwarf.
assume also. I would also assume that very many wizards died, that very many priests died, that many holy warriors died. It's not likely that any mortal force stopped a god. Think about this. We are pretty experienced. We are pretty powerful, and we almost were extincted, eradicated by a walking tin can.
Technically,
One
I
of them.
can.
Not 15,000. And every time this group of 15,000, they kill 100. Now they are 15,100. They kill 500. Now they are 15,500. Every single time. So if they were stopped, yes, you're right. You should go to church and pray on your knees and thank all of the gods simultaneously that it happened way over there and that they were able to intercede before it came here, before it went to your home, before it went south to my home. The gods do what they need to, not what we want them to.
And do you think all those people over there who were slaughtered prayed? How must they have prayed for their gods to help them against this
What
other
is the
god?
point of having this conversation?
Yes, because Grimmy is feeling, I don't know, confused or hurt that some god did not step down by himself and instantly put an end to it.
I'm not hurt. I'm angry.
Oh,
And-
well, yes. I suppose if we were to leave it up to one mortal to judge all the gods, you should be the one.
We get it. The gods are powerful. We are just maggots. We get it.
No, that's not it. That's not it.
But I mean, you seem to forget that we did stop that, whatever it was, masquerading in Kilimor's temple. We did that.
The white? Yes, we stopped a white. Or shade, or ghost, or whatever it is. Yes,
Yes,
congratulations. We stopped one undead.
Yes. So from my point of view, it's us, the people on the ground, that are doing good deeds that prevent this world from falling into the abyss.
I understand. So next time we are out challenging something, I will not ask for any prayers of healing or help, and I will just instead swing my club. Let us see how far we get without the help of the gods. Oh, I noticed that no one said this was a good idea. Amazing. Amazing. Yes, let the gods help us when we want them to, but other times, if they are not so impressive, right there in front of our feeble minds and eyes, then we will be angry at them because we can do this.
Yes, I get your point of view, but I mean, what Grimm
Oh,
can
come
do
on.
is.
You know it isn't the same.
It's exactly the same. Every person that died over there, yes, at some point, if they had any sense to them, prayed. Whether they prayed before or after the sword was ran through them, that is the difference. That is the difference. The man who prays beforehand and says, guide my blade. The man who prays beforehand and says, heal this person. The man who prays beforehand and says, let me act true. Those are the men that won the fight. The ones that died on the end of the sword in that last moment when they realized that their life, their soul was forfeit for all eternity. Those ones who said, forgive me now, what did they do?
The point is that we're all pawns in a war that we didn't start.
Right, that's not my fault, nor is it Joaquin's. I would
I'm
recommend...
not blaming you. Why do you think I'm blaming you?
I don't know, Mr. Sourpuss. But perhaps what you should be asking yourself is why is Orcus, who is not necessarily a big shot amongst gods, why all of a sudden is he riled up? What does he hope to get for this, and how come he was able to get as far as he had? Orcus is responsible for the Church of Kalimdor, responsible for the monastery. He's perhaps responsible for other things. How is he is so prolific at the moment that he has gotten inside of every place that you would think would be difficult to get inside of, but yet his tendrils, they have spread, and now he's manipulating people. One must almost think that perhaps he got this far inside the front because not only is he manipulating monks and priests, he is also manipulating politicians. And he's working them. So they looked the other direction. They ordered guards out too soon, too late, whatever. So really, the question we have to ask ourselves is, why in hell is Orcus doing this? And also, is it sheer coincidence that this book of Methneminar, the Niflheim,
Methelma.
That's it.
Fill in the blank. Yeah.
Right, fill in blank. If all of this is happening at the same time, or if it's just coincidence, I would find it hard to believe it is strictly coincidence.
Well, I certainly don't think it's coincidence either. It's certainly by plan.
So, that being said, Ivan, what is your plan?
We all turn to Ivan. Oh, our faces. As you watched us argue about this theology.
Yeah, kind of a wide-eyed smoking his pipe. Details that have come from the front so far are sketchy. Most of the populace does not even know what's happened yet, but they will soon. From what I've been told, the threat has been stopped, but at tremendous cost. The kingdom is ill-equipped to defend itself right now. Our fighting force is less than a tenth what it was. The guards that they took out of all those towns, we won't see any come back for quite some time. So, as I said at the beginning, I'm glad you're living here.
I kind of look awkwardly to Jawdat and the rest.
We're glad to be here as well.
Yes, but if an army of 15,000 skeletons shows up, I am not sure that the four of us will be enough.
Yeah, I kind of nod and say, we just don't want to get your hopes up. I mean, We'll do what we can. Obviously, we have developed a. Well, we're part of Crossmeet now, and we'll do what we can. But if an army shows up of undead, I don't know what we could. We'll do our best. You know?
Perhaps this is a good time to call upon the aid of the dragon people to the north, or even my people to the south, and simply ask for help.
I'm sure word has gone out to the emissaries of both areas. As I said, for the moment, the danger seems to have abated. And yes, I don't expect miracles from you. It took almost the entire front army to stop them. So,
at the risk of boarding on unpatriotic speech, has the western part of the front thought of seeking help independently of the eastern part of the front?
it's too early yet. I'm sure there's a lot of people thinking a lot of things. As I said, this just happened a few 10 years ago. I don't know what the future holds.
I just not realizing that he is pretty much in as much of he's pretty is much, how do you say it? He's in the dark as we are.
Say, come on, Jawdat, spit it out.
He's really not in much of a position to do any more about it than you guys either.
Yeah. Yeah, but he might have heard more.
Well, I just wanted you to know how I felt, and you've changed my mind about adventures.
Well, I kind of glance at Balmera, just for a moment, and I say, well, you know, it's still good. It's still good to be cautious. You know, you don't want to just take everyone at their word immediately, but I'm glad we earned your respect, at least, or at least your tolerance.
So, yeah, just a worrisome or even pessimistic thought. If all of this happened way over there, I just point in the direction, my mission's right direction, I just point, with the army and the undead, and Tolraun, your monastery is more like over there, and then there was a church over here. It does not seem likely that the church here that was supposed to perhaps breed more servants for the army would make sense that they were all the way over here when the fight was going on over there. So should we as a whole be worried that there is some action yet to take place over here? It was very vague, I'm sorry.
Perhaps it was a plan to merely destabilize the areas further, so once they'd taken over the city, they could easily march their army around and control everything else in Kulthania.
Perhaps, yes, that makes sense.
He shrugs. Ivan shrugs.
But
It'd certainly be a good idea to keep an eye out.
the thing I'm worried about is, what is Orcus? Like, I look at Jawdat, like, what exactly is he?
Robert,
Like, is he a god?
Basic.
He's a demon, right?
I'm asking
Lord
a
of the Undead, basically, right? No, I mean, I know Steve was asking me, though.
Yeah, you're just sticking with the basic, right? Just you didn't change it.
Everything without the meta story.
Okay. Yeah, so Orcus, he is not God necessarily, but I do not know how much you understand about devils and demons. Orcus, he is a demon. He is demon prince. I'm not sure he is demon prince of some layer of abyss. I'm not sure which one. There are so many, but imagine if demons were like people, and each layer was like a kingdom. But instead of having king, they have prince. Like it's more like princedom, if that is a thing. But in his own layer, he is almost infinitely powerful. Out here, he is more powerful than any single person, and likely more powerful than any single group together. But unlike gods, when one god is angry about his lot in life, for the most part, they simply moan and complain. There's not normally too much shuffling between gods, as far as, oh no, I want to be god of flowers now, but no, you're god of skeletons, you're gonna be god of flowers. But when it comes to demons, it's not so much. Demons are always looking for a way to be more powerful, because if he can become more powerful, then perhaps if he is on the 10th level, he can take over levels 11 next, and so on and so forth, until he is most powerful demon. Demons are also very chaotic, so it's not unlikely that he has decided that there are some sort of benefits to being a power in the mortal realm, even if it is just perhaps the more followers he has. Not only is he imbued with their faithfulness, their servitude. If they say, hey, Orcus, here is this wand of fireballs, then that is simply one less spell that he must use. He can use wand of fireballs now. And if they say, here is a potion of healing, he can drink this and he's healed. So demons, not like gods, are capable of using and benefiting from mortal things. So if he takes over a country like Front, he has power base here. He converts worshippers. He has coin. Coin allows him to spread himself further, develops more worshippers, so on and so forth. All these worshippers, they bring him back magical whatever. He grows more powerful this way until he decides it's time for him to mount an attack on the Abyss, at which point it is well within his scope to simply take a portion of the people, all of the people, or even the entire country of Front, the kingdom, and simply move it to the level of Abyss where he's at. And then it is sort of like he has recruited an army from here to go back to Abyss. I'm not saying this is what he's done, but it's not unheard of from the demons. Devils, they are a little more lawful, and they have contracts, but demons, they would, let's just say, yes, you could make deal with devil and be okay, as long as you had very good lawyer. Deal with demon, not so much. He's likely to stab you in back and pee and wound.
I wasn't
Because it
planning
was
on
funny.
making any deals, but so is Orcus dead? What's to stop him trying again? And
I would imagine that unless a very powerful cleric or a paladin or follower of some very powerful god stepped in, or a god themselves stepped in, no, he is not dead. Perhaps he has retreated back to his home in the Abyss. Perhaps he is walking around dressed as 3-year-old child. This is also something they can do.
So what's to stop them from trying again, or another one of these Abyss princes from trying something? If it's going to take the kingdom decades to rebuild, then one more attack would succeed.
I would say you are correct that what stops Orcus or other demon prince from trying again, this I cannot tell you. what is likely in meantime that the foremost danger is not from demons or devils or gods, is from people inside of kingdom seeing that there is a hole in the power system and wanting to fill it themselves, taking advantage of a bad situation. People are people's worst enemies. And I can tell you what stops those are people like us.
Hmm. Thanks. It was illuminating.
Yep, there's plenty enough to lose sleep over if you go looking for it. That's for sure. I should probably get back to my tour. Thanks for stopping by and having a talk with me.
So, in this power vacuum, it's likely that someone who has been, let's say, preparing for just such an opportunity might see this as their moment in time.
Like the
See-
Sonata?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was talking about. Things to lose sleep over.
I mean, they did have like, or at least
Perhaps,
the rumor said that they had an army of themselves.
Hey,
Right.
while I think you are right, Balmera, perhaps this is something that the four of us should talk about somewhere where Ivan is not likely to hang himself in a cell after hearing it.
yes, let's go home and talk about how everyone is doomed.
Yeah.
See you, Ivan.
Yeah. Now we know how we feel, Ivan. But good luck on your walk.
All right, so he escorts you back to your home as far as it matches his path, and then he eventually goes off, continues his beat around town.
So, once we get home, turns out this is ridiculous. If Jawdat has destroyed all the kingdom's defenses and we have the scenario playing out, what about that weird aquatic creature that we saw under my monastery? Was that planning something? What about that evil god at the church? Is it planning something? Are there more whites? Dragons going to attack suddenly?
What about the princess of the sea that summoned the iron golem? Are they planning something? Are the elves planning something?
Alright, so
I think it's fair to say that there's a shite hurricane coming.
Yeah.
the elves, the mermaids or whatever from the ocean are probably no longer an issue in the immediate sense.
But even if all the things I said aren't an issue, then those are
most
just
of
the
the
things
you
we
said
know
are
about.
issues. Yes, and most of the things you brought up are issues. Because we know that Orcus was part of the Kellamore incident, and was most likely part of the monastery problem. But here is thing. Or do any of you think that any one of us, or four of us, together, are capable of stopping what is going on in the grand scheme of things?
No.
No, not at all. No.
So this does bring a different light to the subject of what the knight with the horse was talking about, and if we do find
That place.
Mathalamar, if we do find the lost city, and there is some sort of something, deterrent, weapon, whatever, He said, this harkens to a conversation that I had in a dream, that if we have the ability to stop something, and we don't, do we become responsible for what happens?
I don't see how. Personally, I'm thinking we should relocate to.
Yeah, tell us about your home place, Jawdat.
Yeah,
Yes, it's warm there,
Yeah.
isn't it?
you feel like a connection to your dad's land.
I hear Durnbrick's very nice.
Yeah, right.
We get in the
Everyone's
ship, we
across the
sail
sea,
there,
I've
we
heard
see
of.
this huge, like, meteor crash into the ground. Nope.
Right.
Go back around.
Yeah, let's go across the sea to Dunbrack. Well, or not, you know.
Never mind. Durnbrick is a silly place.
Well, for all we know, this might be the moment where Freya is loosed upon the world and the meteor actually does come.
For those watching, see previous campaign.
Well, I can say this. I do not think that myself, or Grimm, or Balmera, or Tolraun, I do not think any of us can stop what is happening. But I know that in order for me to find out that I cannot stop it, I will have to die.
What?
Because this is not something I can walk away from, one way or the other. These are not necessarily my people, but they are people. And if it is in the agency of gods to act, then perhaps I am what Joaquin acts through.
Okay, but before you do that, could we take like a side tour to the subject of Silas? Just
What?
Well,
I'm surprised. Like,
ever had that conversation just immediately goes,
Grimm's like, who?
who?
No different.
but
Wasn't that your ex-husband or something?
I never married them.
That's not
Anyway,
what I told everyone.
anyway, I do see your point, but I couldn't even make a dent in that iron golem. I couldn't even make a scratch. My rapier had absolutely no effect. All I could do was hope that I could drag Tolraun far away from that, so we might survive.
and had you not, Tolraun would not be with us. So while
Yeah,
your
thanks for that.
sword had no effect, you most certainly did.
I'm guessing. I'm just gonna make a wild guess here, but something like Orcus or any of the other princes of the apocalypse. I'm guessing they're tougher opponents than even an iron golem.
Yes, much. They
Can't
are
punch to death.
close enough. Yeah, from our vantage point, they are close enough to gods that they are indistinguishable.
Right. So how about instead of us going out in a blaze of glory, that we do what we can and we help the little people.
Yes, I agree. So I see.
We need an army to fight the Shinetsu. I guess we need an army to fight the Orc Keep of north of here too. And unless Grimm can summon a lot of Earth Elementals, we don't really have an army. And Front doesn't have an army, and I'm just gonna go out on a limb and guessing that the elves are not gonna be of much help here.
I don't
So-
think so.
It would seem that regardless of his destination at the moment, we should continue on the path of what the book and the lady have is doing, and when we get to the point where we understand what it is, we can make a decision of how it's best to be used.
If the book exists.
Well, the
If-
book exists.
The city might not, though.
Yeah,
Yes.
and also the whatever it was we called it, the magic Magooby thingy that could help or destroy the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
The what?
Whatever's to be found at the myth.
Yeah. What that
Yeah, that guy on the horse we talked about.
the government agent.
Yeah. I mean,
You don't think there's really, you don't think there's really a chance of that, do you?
well, I'm guessing if there is an elven lost city and they were users of magic, I'm gonna guess there is some magic there, but there might not be this kingdom-saving magic that some might hope for.
Well, you may be right, but maybe we can at least find some Crossmeet saving magic.
Yes. It is clear that with what we have now, we cannot stop what is going on. There is the potential that what is there could help us at least stop a portion of it. Therefore, we must find what is there and hope that it exists.
Well, that's good enough for me.
Well, we were discussing this. Aren't we late for Lady Lysiva's dinner now?
Well, it is the next day. You guys already spent the day, but it's not till this evening. It's
Right.
only around noon time now, so you have several hours until dinner.
Okay.
The work on both the barn and the basement is going to be completed today by the end of the day.
Sweet. Awesome.
Go ahead.
I will leave. Well, I'm going to leave early for our engagement, and stop by and pick up my my amulet before.
Well, that was this morning that you ordered it,
Yeah. Oh,
So-
okay.
so it'll be ready. It'll be ready by tomorrow morning.
Oh, okay. That's fine. That I won't bother.
Okay. So does anyone want to do anything before you have your meeting with the lady?
No, not really.
Write my father a really long letter
Okay.
Yeah,
about why he's going to have to send people up this way and convince the other merchants and rulers in the south to do the same. At least, I'll lay it on him in such a manner that at least this city needs to borrow some guards. P.S. Preferably human ones.
Or human friendly.
Did you want to do something too, Balmera?
This is considering if she should pray or not pray that day.
Okay.
That doesn't really come to any conclusion, and she's gonna attempt to write a letter back home all day, and not really finding the right words for what she wants to say, other than.
Nice.
So she's gonna be doing nothing really productive, as usual.
Okay. All right. So the evening passes largely without incident. When the time comes, you guys make your way to Lady Sever's mansion. Bade enters the door as per usual. Yes. Come in. Please have a seat. We will be dining in the dining room tonight. May I take your coats?
I give you my code.
Sure.
How are you guys dressed?
Poorly.
Like usual.
Yeah, usual.
Right. Well, you have finery and you have traveling clothes and you got battle clothes. I'm just curious.
Yeah. But Balmera's kind of depressed, so she's not feeling all dressed up. So she's just gonna wear what the warmest clothes she has.
Okay. So you get a hint of dismay from Bade, anyone who's not well dressed. But aside from that, there's no rudeness or nothing. Never shows that. And he eventually leads you into the living room, where it's a very large, long table. There's silver platters and pitchers, gold-rimmed goblets sitting out at ends of the table. There's several bottles of wine at different places throughout the table. Bread, a variety of vegetables. There's a number of delicacies, including a fruit you might not recognize that Bade tells you is from Althea. It is an oval sweet fruit called a taya. There's also a delicacy from the Yellow Sea, which is what, Steve?
Sandfish.
Okay. All right, it's exclusive to that area, as well as a dwarven delicacy, which is what, Dennis?
And now I want to say dates, so we can say bad dates, but I'm gonna guess, since apparently the short people in this world like to pickle stuff, so it's probably gonna be a pickled mushroom.
So there's quite a range of. Good.
It's an acquired.
For backstory, see previous campaign.
Right. See previous campaign.
Right. Exactly. Asterisk.
Right.
So, in other words, in any case, there's quite a variety of delicacies and food spread out over the table. There's lots to eat. Lady LeSever eventually shows up. She's wearing fine blue robes, as she often is. She gestures for you to sit down. Atypically, she has her hood pulled back, and even through her long, dark hair, you can see the faint point of her ears, suggesting her Eladrin. She says, "I'm glad you are quite well. I hope you enjoyed this meal. I wanted to make it extra special because, well, if you are still willing, I suspect it will be a lengthy trek you are to undertake. I believe I have gleaned all the clues I can from the various books and paintings I have acquired over the years. It seems to suggest a location, and yet I'm puzzled because, from what I know of this location, there is no city there. It surely would have been seen, but I would like you to go and look at this location and to see what you can find out. Are you still willing before I proceed with the details?"
Not my companions.
I'll nod.
Is this like urgent? I'm just wondering.
Nope.
It's not like
We know that the Sunatu seek the same goal. I believe we have a head start on them. I believe we know more than they do about Mythalamar's location, but given enough time, they would doubtless figure it out for themselves. Also, as you may have heard, there are some disturbing reports from the capital city.
I kind of interrupt. I say, how does this relate to the fall front?
It It doesn't directly. At least I don't believe it does. But I think if there is knowledge, things that we can use there, doesn't it behoove us to acquire them and put them to use in defense of the kingdom, defense of our people, defense of Crossmeet?
Why is
Should
everyone
that be
so sure
necessary?
that there'll be something that you can use to defend the country with?
I am not sure. Perhaps knowledge. Knowledge can be used in surprising ways sometimes.
You're not the first person to suggest something like that might exist there.
Oh?
Does anyone remember that guy's name?
Okay.
The guy from the government agency.
Since I
His name was
totally failed
Mr.
to...
Gray.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if we were playing dumb or just couldn't remember.
or just dumb.
That's often difficult to do in this party.
Wait, no, I really don't. We were encountered by an agent from the SAF who asked us a question about what we'd do if we found anything that could be used to defend the country.
She looks down. She smiles slightly. She says, I see Mr. Gray caught up with you. Yes, he stopped by here, and we had a chat as well. I do not know what you will find there, but I can speculate. My Thalamar was, well, if it's true, my Thalamar was home to a race of elves known as the Nadriel. They were more innately magic than even the Eladrin. They had schools and magic skills they developed on their own independently. Who knows what might be found there, but perhaps it would be something useful. It is my fervent hope. I have spent 20 years in this pursuit.
And just a few years too late.
I hope you're wrong. In any event, you're still willing to travel and see if you can find it for yourself? I'll give you all the information I can, and I will provide a guide who knows the Colossal Expanse well. He lives just outside of Cerner.
I kind of glance at my companions and just, assuming they agree with me, I nod.
We can settle up the details of payment after the meal. But this guide, his name is Balnor Therig. He has worked for me off and on in the past. He is a decorated soldier, formerly in the Front Army. Retired now, but I'm hoping you can convince him to be your guide through the Colossal Expanse. He knows it well.
Did we not hear about him when we were in Cerner?
What'd you say?
Did we not hear about him when we were in Cerner?
I don't know.
And we have to convince him to help us?
Well, I'm going to send a letter. He has stated before that he wants to retire and remain retired, but he may need a little persuasion to go along. I don't know his current mood. He can be stubborn, but he would be extremely useful and helpful in guiding you.
Well, I suppose it's worth a shot.
I will make sure that Bade gives you directions to Balnorn's house. As I said, he is a decorated and very capable soldier. Well, it appears to be the beginning of the end of the search. I am cautiously hopeful. She raises her glass to toast you.
I'll raise my response.
Yeah.
She drinks, and she mentions to you that Markel and Tam are doing well, and they wanted to pass along their, they wanted basically her to say hello.
There's a postcard from the honeymoon where they're just having the time of their life and we're wandering off to certain doom. Yeah.
Good.
I mean, our line of work is often more dangerous than it really should be. At least I feel so. Would it be possible if I leave my money chest with you, and in the event that I don't come back, you could give it to Gwen at the tree?
Of course, if that is what you wish.
Grimm's eyebrows go up, and he turns to look at Balmera in disbelief. Not only at her pessimism about not coming back, but also the odd generosity of donating her money to someone.
All right, did I forget to mention that sandfish has a weird narcotic effect that makes you act counter to your...
Makes you atypically generous.
It's just the sandfish tool.
Right.
That's why they serve it at business meetings.
Yeah, we serve it at every temple congregation.
That's right. Yeah.
Before we pass the church plate around.
That's right. We pass the plate around.
I wouldn't expect anything less than from the Church of Joaquin.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, look.
She asks if there's any questions you might have. She's going to give you some money for per diem. She's going to give you some money for supplies, and then, a generous pay upon your return if you are successful.
How generous?
Well, she offers you 50 gold pieces, 50 crowns each, just as a per diem. She expects the trip to take several days.
Now, what
she's
is
going to give you?
Go ahead.
I was going to say she's going to give you 500 crowns for supplies. Horses will not suffice through an Arctic trek. And finally, she's going to give you, upon your return, if you're successful, and it's just something of value, she's going to give you 1,000 crowns each.
Yeah, I was going to ask her what are the contract guidelines regarding treasure?
What means successful?
Well, no, I was thinking about whatever we find there. I mean, what do we have to bring back, and what can we keep? Assuming we're doing this.
It's difficult for me to make that judgment without knowing what's there. I would certainly expect you to
decide as well.
I would certainly expect you to use whatever you need to ensure your own survival.
Well, of course. Still, if we find valuable items, tomes, caches of wealth, what is exactly the cut that you would receive, and how do we determine that cut?
Well, as I said, I'm offering you 1,000 crowns each for whatever you find there, as well as paying for the expenses.
Suppose, admittedly, but suppose I find a really pretty cloak that, let's say, that brings out the color in my eyes, and I decide that I don't want to sell it to you for 1,000 crowns. Would
think a cloak
would there be
survived this long.
any issue with me keeping it?
Well, perhaps. I mean, I can't say I'm going to give up all salvage rights not knowing what's there yet. This is why I'm offering you 1,000 crowns apiece to return whatever you find.
Well, I suppose that's why I'm trying to be clear on our guidelines here. I mean, I certainly think we would get, because we are putting our lives on the line, that we would get first pick of at least the first 3.
No, we don't. I cannot make such a promise. I don't know what's there. There may be nothing. There may be ruins. There may be only books. I am offering you 1,000 crowns each to bring me back whatever you find. Not whatever you find after you have had your pick of it. It is a generous offer.
Well, it is. It is. Well, I suppose we'll have to see if there's anything valuable there, shall we?
I mean, just to get this clear, and we are doing this to find something to help the kingdom, right? We're not doing this to benefit any personal agenda or to enrich already large coffers, anything like that.
I have some measure of wealth behind me, but I also have half a century or more as an established businesswoman. I am involved in this community. It is important to me. I have no desire to be its leader or ruler. I wish to merely to assist it.
I clearly see the politician because that answer.
Yeah.
Not an answer. Fair enough. Balmera will not press the issue.
Yeah.
Okay, so is there anything more you want to ask her?
No. At this point, I think Grimm just puts on a big smile and just placates for the rest of the evening, because at this point, this is only inside his own mind, of course. He's decided that if he finds something that he really likes, he's just not going to tell her about it.
Yeah, I think we all knew. So in any case, the food and wine is exquisite.
Yeah.
Before you leave, Bade gives you 50 crowns each as a per diem, and a lump sum of 500 crowns to supply yourself.
Okay.
When we'll leave the place with this, what the hell are we going to supply ourselves with?
So it's 550 crowns total?
You got 50 each, and then a lump sum for the group of 500.
Oh, okay. So, all right.
So 175 each.
Well, one thing she mentioned is that horses probably won't be suitable for an Arctic trek.
You know what else isn't suitable for Arctic treks? Southern orcs. Not suitable for Arctic treks.
Yeah, you know what is suitable for Arctic treks? Teleportation. That would be awesome for Arctic treks.
For avoiding Arctic treks.
But Balmera already has winter clothing. What are we? What are? I mean, what should we buy, if anything?
Animals capable of walking on snow.
So what kind of
Arctic
animals?
clothing?
Goats, I guess.
Goats, I was thinking goats, yeah.
Or griffins. I hear they do pretty well.
And regarding goats, see previous campaign.
Right. Or at least why goats need perfume.
That's right.
Previous.
They're imported from Norbrook. They're the fabled Norbrook goats.
Right. They're adventurer goats bred right outside of Armin's Doom.
That's right.
It's like a dungeon donkey, but way better. All right. Well, if we're done, I wonder how like uncustomary and how rude it is that like you finish up a nice dinner and then you take the half-drink bottle of wine with you. I mean, she's not going to drink. She's so high and falutin. She's not going to drink after us.
That's right.
You could probably convince Bay to spare a bottle if you wanted.
Well, then I will, because we'll have a drink tonight as we make our plans and preparations for trekking north into the ungodly, unearthly, should never have been created snow. After a magic place full of magic things that may or may not exist in a place where it shouldn't exist.
Then we may or may not have to give up when we're done getting.
Yeah, see, Grimm wants to emphasize that point.
Yes.
I
We need to go to the place that may or may not exist to find the things that may or may not exist to bring back that we may or may not have to give up if we may or may not arrive back. That's not English, but we understand what I meant.
I still think we should just go to Cerner for a week, come back, and say you were right. There wasn't anything there.
I say if we want a real shortcut, we just go buy a wardrobe and just walk right through it.
We take the money. We take the money. We go to Bryce and we spend a week at a brothel and then come back.
Yeah. Except raise your hand if you want to spend a week in a brothel with Balmera.
Yeah.
Well,
we come back.
Snow sounds like a better
When you
option.
put it like that.
This is all we could find.
So, I guess.
But I looked at it because I'm a wizard, and I heard of her track record with wizards.
Yeah. 1-0, undefeated still. I suppose if in the morning we could go talk to Ferris or what's his face? The man that also sells things with the horses. Swift Travel? No.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people
Yep,
sell
you've
things.
got it right. Swift Travel. So Fallon used to sell horses kind of as a side business. He was also a courier, and he handles the coaches. Now Ferris does all the animal sales, and he focuses on couriers and coaches. But their businesses are next to each other. They kind of work together.
Hey Fazel, here's a map. You need to hire your courier services. Go here, tell us if there's anything here, come back.
Yeah, we're going to spend all our money to hire adventurers to go check it out.
Yes. Sure. It's a 4,000 gold fee.
I dress up as an old man and.
Hang on, because
No,
we can't.
No, wait a minute. We're only doing it for 50. Come on.
Yeah, we can't get level 1 adventures rather cheap though.
That's true. We'll just tell them it's like, an orc or something who's
Did you guys not hear about the war? All the level 1 adventurers are dead. those were amongst the people who died.
Well,
but
we
Yeah, but they make it more all the time,
Because I mean,
We'll go find a farm boy who's looking to pick up some stuff at
We could just hire some skeletons. There seems to be a surplus.
Yeah, we go back. We go back to that boy we
Says the
rescued from the
necromancer.
temple, and we say, "Oh, you wanted to be an adventurer? Here's an idea. Here's 50 gold. Go make a party and go up north."
All right. So I guess
Yeah.
realistically, back to the house and
Yeah.
in the morning over to Ferris to go buy some goats.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Okay. So the night passes without incident. When you wake up the next morning, as I said, all the construction is gone. For the first time in about a 10-day, there's no one working on your house. There's no hammering going on. Ferris does indeed sell goats. Horses go for 75 crowns each. Goats go for 100. These are dire goats, very, very woolly, very, very thick coats. They could handle the Arctic for a long time. I mean, an avalanche is going to kill them just as soon as anything, but they're definitely well suited to the Arctic.
Don't you have a dire boar for Balmera?
So we need 5 dire goats and a bottle of perfume. Well, we need one to carry the packs, right?
With the limited experience that we've had with snow, mainly when I fell off that building and into it and didn't die. That's my limited experience with it. And then walking back through that crap. And with my extensive knowledge of sand, can I go? Who makes wagons in town? I know we visited them before.
This Feldry who just finished your barn.
Yeah. I wonder if we can basically get some skis made for a wagon so that the goats could. Yeah, basically turn into a sled. The drawings I bring to them are going to look a little bit weird because they're the sled rails, the skis themselves are a little more pointed because they're actually meant to go up on top of sand, not snow, and they're cut differently. So, obviously there's going to be like 10 minutes of me arguing with them that no, this is right, and they're like, no, you're a moron, and that's okay because
this would be something to basically be able to attach to our wheels once we get past.
Basically put the wagon onto it, and then let them latch on to the wheels so that it then turns into a.
There's enough snow on the ground now, and it's frozen enough now that you could put skis on, and it probably wouldn't hurt it.
So get a sleigh, basically.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Nice.
No.
Hey.
A wagon with skis. We don't want a sled.
What? All right, same idea.
That's
a sleigh, technically.
It is a sleigh, and if we can if we have a few extra coins to get a big red bag made for the back, so we can when we collect our stuff.
Okay, so we already pimping the ride.
Okay, so for your 500 gold, you can get any cold weather clothing you may be lacking.
Yeah.
You can get 4 dire goats, and you can get a sled. The only downside is going to be on top of yourselves, your gear that you're already taking, and the weight of the sled. You're not going to have a whole bunch more encumbrance before the goats are at their limit. You can handle what you got now, and maybe a little bit more, but not a lot more.
Right. Well, in that case, can I buy 5 large-size waterproof sacks, like just waxed sacks?
Oh, water resistant, certainly. Yeah.
All right, perfect. I'll buy those because worst case scenario, we can walk beside the goats. We can tie a harness to the goat, the rope to a bag. The goats can pull a 200-pound bag behind them with us walking, and we can ditch the weight of the sleigh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pinch we can cut corners.
All right. So winter clothes.
Balmera's gonna buy a surplus of alcohol since we're going up where it's cold.
Ration.
Yeah.
Well, alcohol first, and then rations.
Okay. Fair enough.
Priorities.
Perhaps also we should go by and see Gwen and her mother, and maybe they could make some of those muffins for us to take with us.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt. We'll throw a few.
I don't know if the berries are in season, but it would be
There is a baker in town.
Yeah, but I want the magical heal you muffins.
Yeah, no, she can't do that anymore. That was a limited supply that her husband had. Like, she ran out of those berries. She can make the non-magical kind.
That's fine. I'll take non-magical kind. Her baking's way better than another person's baking.
Yeah, well, that'd be nice anyway. We could send someone to Eveloff. I won't go there, but yeah.
Yeah, you can if you want to maybe sell off some of that iron dust or trade it for a potion or two.
Oh man, instead of choosing the Iron Golem to fight, we could have chose Eveloff. Shit.
We'll fight Evelyn for you.
Underwater.
Or an Iron Golem
so-
beating, trying to kill us with the dead body of Eveloff.
Okay, so we stock up on rations, and alcohol, and warm clothes, blankets.
Yes. Yep, you got your sled, you got your goats.
Some rope, a grappling hook.
You don't have to tell me immediately, but I want you to each come up with a name for your goat.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm assuming you have at least a climbing kit amongst the party. That's not a problem.
I'm gonna call mine Nero. I don't know why.
I'm gonna call mine Eveloff because they plan on him dying and I'll have to eat him.
Okay.
It's just.
Okay. Does someone want to visit Evelov before they go or no?
I don't really want to.
I said someone. You
You
don't have to. It's up to you.
Don't need anything from that.
Maybe we could send a kid like with some gold.
I can go see him. I'll take some of the powder with me. I'll go see him and see if he does have anything beneficial.
Yeah, I was gonna say, see if you can trade that. Hold on, let me start over. Yeah, why don't see if you can trade some of that powder there that he seems to value so highly for maybe a bunch of healing potions. I mean, see how many you can get. I mean, you're a negotiator. You're bargaining. You're a businessman. You can do this, right?
I'm not sure how many he'll have on hand, but
well, I mean, we can wait an extra day, but not much more. But see what you can get. Healing potions.
I'll go talk to him.
Okay, I don't want to spend too long on this.
Yeah.
So, you're going to try and convince him to give you the best deal. Is there anything you want to say to help to sway him or anything like that? He will offer you coin or a few potions for the lot. What are you more interested in?
I might say this. I may talk to. Well, no, but I was going to say I might talk to him beforehand and say that if he's going to try and manipulate, Eveloff, to kind of stress the points that we are going to hopefully procure something that will protect the area, and that since Front is in the process of falling, that we're trying to protect Crossmeet. Just trying to
right. Yeah, I get
help
it.
help himself. Yeah.
Appeal to his humanity.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
So,
All right.
yeah.
So the first thing I do is I don't tell him that I'm trying to buy anything from him. I'm gonna see what coin price he offers me, and then I'll bring up the idea of trading because I don't want him to shortchange me a gold price. I give you 4 potions, or I'll give you 700 gold. You go, wait a second,
No. He's
second.
He's going to. Oh, sorry. You go on.
No, go ahead.
I just wanted to see what you were looking for. Give me the second part.
Secondly, the way I will get him interested in it is I'm basically going to tell him kind of what we're doing and basically work it so that outside of ourselves and Lady of Sever, if there is anything interesting that might benefit him, he'll be the only other person that finds out about it, and at least that gives him a corner on something that he doesn't have access to otherwise.
Okay, excellent. I'm going to. So he's going to. Tell you what, make me a persuasion roll. See how. I get here. Okay. Throw a
22.
number at me. Okay, so he offers you 300 crowns, or he has a few potions he could offer in trade, depending on what you're looking for, what kind of things you're looking to do. How much details do you give him on where you're going?
North. So we're looking at snow, and that's all I'm gonna really get into.
All right. So he offers you, as I said, 300 gold, 300 crowns, or a potion of warmth and a potion of climbing.
What's the potion
that
of warmth
interesting?
to do?
I think it's like for a while you're not going to be hurt by cold elements. You're going to feel comfortable and all that.
All right, so it's like a potion of resistance then.
Yeah, but it's a little bit more than that. It's like you won't freeze to death while you're under the effects of this.
Okay.
Literally a white dragon has to breathe on you or something.
How much gold did he pay us initially when we brought back the...
200.
Right. All right, so that's up from there. Well,
He asks if that interests you. Those potions interest you.
yes, but I can see the value of the potions. Is 300 crowns or 2 potions. This makes sense. And if that is where you wanted to stop the deal, I understand. If you're not interested in any of the information, this is fine. So if that is all you have to offer, I understand, and it will take the 2 potions and be gone.
What is it you think?
Well, I am in a master alchemist shop talking to you, a master alchemist, about a certain predicament. I would defer to his judgment as what might be helpful, as I have never been someplace that cold, ever. Nor do I make potions. So I do not know if they make potions that make you fly, or if they make potions that make you invisible, or if they make potions that, I don't know.
He says, he puts another flask on the table. He says, this potion will make you strong, very strong for a time. I'll add this, and you give me all the information. You convey to me all the information you find there.
Okay. That seems fair.
All right. So I'll send you a private message what you get in a moment. All right. So you guys are all settled up at the house. You've gathered all your supplies and gear, and you're ready to head out unless I'm missing something.
Yeah, I did collect my tin amulet though.
Oh yeah. No problem. And you guys leave?
Yeah. As soon as we're ready, I assume we head north, taking one last look back at Crossmeet as if we may never see it again.
Is there so sort of meta here? Are taking stock of the crap that we've acquired over our adventures so far? Is there anything in specific we definitely want to make sure we're bringing with us?
I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming you have all your weapons and gear and
Right. Well, I know I'm
rations
bringing
and
that funky potion with me.
Funky potion?
After this session, I want to talk to you guys about any magic items you haven't identified yet.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean,
Yeah.
we got. Yeah.
Yeah. About the only thing I do is make sure my grab bag is
Unmoved. It's where we left it.
Yep.
What's the likelihood of Scoot being able to make an Arctic trek if I got him some, like, fur barding?
A short trek,
But
long trek.
nothing like this.
He could go a short ways in. You're probably going to be in the Arctic for a good 10 days, or at least 5.
Right.
It would be pretty, and then 5 back out.
Well, Scoot's part demon, so.
Yeah.
This is true.
Which we all know.
I mean, I could just, like, mix the potion of warmth into his, feed each morning, and, Alright, so, yeah, I guess the only other thing we'll do is, either get Jasper, the mayor, or Ron, again, to look after...
Yeah.
I mean, Jasper would be my go-to. Yes, I realize he's the mayor, but at least I don't have to worry about any sort of weird incompetence.
In fact, you have some, let's call them fans of the town now. Maybe 4 or 5 fans that are happy to volunteer to do that task for nothing. These are probably like older teenagers, that sort of thing, that look up to you, and they're more than willing to take that task on for nothing. Maybe you could tell them tales at some point.
Right. That young girl that I sent up to the Temple of Joaquin so long ago now, and now that she's working on becoming a priestess.
Sure.
All right, yeah. So I'd like to, basically just make sure that our affairs here are taken care of also.
Yeah.
All right. So, as you guys turn to or start your trek north out of Crossmeet, you only get to the north end of town when you hear some galloping coming up behind you, and you turn to see a halfling riding a llama towards you. He's decorated in he's got quite a few pouches and little stacks hanging off of him. His clothes are colorful, yet a little bit ragtag. He has a flute tucked in a pocket, and he comes riding up to you. He's slightly out of breath. He stands up and he says, "Oh, I'm glad I caught you before you left town. Might I speak with you a moment? It won't be long." He smiles broadly.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. Talk quickly.
He stands up in the saddle of his llama, and he bows very deeply. "Greetings. Pasco Quetery is the name. Bard, traveler, teller of tall tales. I have word of your exploits has reached me down Bryce. A party of adventurers doing heroic deeds for the town. This is the stuff I feed upon. I wish to make you a simple offer. I have some small magics at my disposal." He reaches in the pouch and he produces a scroll. "I would offer you this, and all I ask in return is that when you come back to Crossmeet, tell me some tales I can weave into songs, speaking of your heroism and bravery, that everyone will know of them."
I just turn to Balmera to see how quickly she snatches the scroll and agrees to it.
Yeah, I'll look to Balmera as well.
She has a little interest in scrolls and magical thingies.
Then I guess I'll snatch it.
And she's still kind of depressed that the end is near.
The end is nigh.
Okay, so
yeah,
Pasco
I'll look at that.
smiles at you, and you think he smiles broadly. Please.
Well,
Does this arrangement seem fair to you?
No,
I'm happy to sing songs and tales of your heroism.
None of us terribly shy about speaking our minds about what we do, for the most part. We appreciate the offer, and if you could start spreading tales, now in the town of Crossmeet to
In case we don't make it back.
Yeah.
I've
Well,
already
or-
begun putting down a few words for a few songs, but it's better when I can infuse them with, well, some measure of truth, and not all speculation.
Well, it's funny you should ask that because just recently we were you've obviously heard of the Golem incident, but what you don't know is earlier when we first encountered the Golem, and I started to go into this long explanation of what happened in our journey to the Foundry, and I'll keep going unless someone stops me.
Yeah, you can literally hear your companion sighing.
As fluttering as the story is, can this not wait? When we definitely will return back alive from this trek.
Of course.
Sure,
Yes,
sure,
yes.
Yeah. I'll glance at the scroll. Kind of.
It's a scroll of bardic inspiration. It can be read and cast by anybody.
I recognize at least the core effect behind it, if not specifics. And I kind of nod. We appreciate your help.
So Pasco bows deeply again, his forehead almost touching the ground. Have great heroic journeys. Weave tales of bravery and bring them back to me.
So this will help. I'm gonna tuck it in my jacket.
Okay. So you guys make your way north from Crossmeet. It's about mid-morning rather. It's fairly heavy overcast. By the time you reach Godstone, even though there's a good 3-4 hours of daylight left, it's fairly overcast and shadowy and gray. Snowflakes have started to trickle down. You stop for a brief respite at Godstone before continuing towards Cerner. You don't get too far from Godstone before you start seeing travelers coming from the north-south on foot. Many of them looking covered in dirt, soot, even torn clothing. They come in ones and twos, stragglers here and there. To give you like a glance as they kind of go running past, heading to the south. Well, jogging past, rather. Out of breath.
I'll grab one and be like, what happened?
Grab one, literally?
Well, yeah.
Cerner, it was attacked last night. No, large creatures. Ogres, maybe? I don't know. There were many of them. They came in the night.
Great.
She's like walking, like stepping away from you, trying to move towards Crossmeet.
No, I'm not stopping her. I just wanted that explanation. That's all I needed.
If it's not
right.
one thing, it's everything else.
Should I ask another one about that guy we're looking for?
Do we have time to deal with ogres?
Well, probably giants. They probably can't tell the difference, and we know giants are in the area.
And he's probably dead, so...
This sucks.
The people are running from the same direction we're traveling in, right? Roughly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're running from the direction you're traveling towards.
Yeah.
So we find this guide. We stop some ogres, and then we get on our way to the city that may or may not be there.
Yes.
Well, wait a minute. We're fighting ogres now? I mean, shouldn't we just go around? I mean...
And when the ogres get down to Crossmeet and we're not there to stop them,
Well, the guy only lives on the outskirts of Cerna, so maybe we can go to him anyway.
Yeah, but isn't that what you guys wanted to do? I mean, ride around, helping.
no, that's not what we said.
No. No, I don't recall that.
I'll grab another one of the runners, and did everyone make it out of Cerna in time? Are there people still under attack?
I don't know. Some were hiding in their houses. Some fled. Some houses were completely destroyed.
Yeah, I let go of him so he can run. Yes, we do need to help out.
So, on to
You notice
Cerner,
that
then,
some of them even have soot on them.
because the town's on fire.
Hmm.
Do you ever stop to think that perhaps the snow is simply the gods crying for us, and that there is so much?
No, but I have often pondered if they hated us.
Well, I don't know. Have you ever had that really dry scalp where your hair starts to gets these little flakes
Dandruff?
in it, and
This is where the gods put their dandruff.
yeah, when they scratch their heads and it all sort of falls down.
I was trying to be a little poetic. That's disgusting.
I grab another one of the runners and how many of them were there?
Dozens. 100? I don't know.
Let him go.
Education has gone terrible up here. Dozens or hundreds?
Wait, we're being attacked. Let me take a count.
Is he being
One,
sarcastic?
two.
Just in case some monk asks.
Ooh.
Is that what the creature said to them? No. Should I?
Getting metacsarcasm from the GM. Nice.
Alright, well, so, on to Cerner then, yes?
Yep.
On we go.
To go fight some ogres.
So, as
Well,
you get closer to
Let's not be too
Cerner,
hasty.
the people fleeing the town become fewer and fewer. And again, there was never any crowd. You just saw stragglers, ones and twos, things like that. But by the time you get within sight of Cerner, the sun has started to set, and with the overcast, it's very dark and shadowy. But you can see that the city is lit from at least a dozen fires and black columns of smoke pouring up. You can see silhouettes of large humanoid creatures moving through the town, bigger than ogres.
So it does seem like it's giants.
They looks like giants, yeah. But again, you're about a couple hundred yards south of the town at this point. This is what you're looking at.
They are fire giants riding red dragons.
Is that all?
That
So-
complete.
With their pet iron golems.
Yeah.
Piece of cake.
Well, on the bright side, I don't see hundreds.
That is good.
And we did once consider attacking a giant, so
I guess
Wait,
now
did
we
we?
get our chance.
You can't tell really how many there are, except that there's a bunch. You're still a few hundred yards out, and certainly lots of them are blocked by the building. You can't see through the whole town.
I
Right.
think maybe we need to stop and think about if we go in and we try to save what is left of Cerna, probably just a burned down ruin by now. How helpful will we be in recovering whatever is in Thunderoth?
Well,
guess that's a good point. Maybe we should go to Balmora.
I mean, Grimm, I mean, does have a point.
If Balmorn is a retired hero, and the town that he lives a couple hours from is under attack by giants, I suppose there is 50-50 chance that he is at home or he has involved himself in the defense of town.
Yeah, makes sense.
So we check with him at his house. If he's there, we
Carry on.
We decide with him whether we go stop giants or ignore the loss of Cerner for the potential salvation of the entire kingdom.
well, either we're going to stop him or we won't.
Yes, let's just go to his house and tell him his country needs him.
Yeah. But these things are going to be heading south next. You know that, right?
Yes.
They're actually moving west to east and maybe even a little northeast.
So they're heading into like Kurtigampa?
Nope, west to
No,
east.
they're
They're heading
following
towards
the-
Galthanor.
Yeah, if anything, they're following the road.
Yep.
If they're heading west to east, gotcha. I reversed that in my head.
Yeah.
The directions to Balnor and Therig's house, he lives somewhere around here,
Okay.
in the middle of the woods, basically.
So I guess we'll try to head over there without.
So you want to avoid
Cerner?
Cerner. You can certainly do that.
Yeah.
At least for the moment.
Yeah, we'll avoid imperial entanglements.
Hey, now, you have a sled, and you're moving into trees, which are going to gradually get thicker and thicker. This might make it difficult for you to move with the sleigh. Sleigh's pretty good size.
I imagine we would go a little bit into the forest till it starts to get thick, just so our sled isn't out in the open. Then we could walk.
Right.
Okay. So
we could ride the goats theoretically if we just unhook them and
absolutely, yep,
and use them as mounts and
yep.
go the rest of the way. That way,
Yes.
at the very least, we won't lose them and use the sleigh.
Yes, we will take the goat with us.
All right. So we'll secure the sleigh. We'll put it behind some trees. Maybe even grab a couple of loose, broken branches and just kind of place them against it to break up the lines to make it less obvious from a distance. And
Okay.
you're
hiding this sleigh.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, we're just camouflaging it a bit, and we'll take obviously our personal things, any gear we can carry, food we might need, and we'll throw them in the saddlebags of the goats and head in.
Right. So you're going to have to leave some of your gear behind, but that's not a problem. You don't have too far to go to where Balnorn lives.
Mm-hmm.
You're closer to the city now. You get the sleigh well hidden. You can see that among the silhouettes, and these are things that just kind of flash by between houses with the lit by fire behind them, that there's also people moving through the town as well. Although not in like an organized fashion, more in like a scurrying kind of stay hidden sort of fashion.
Okay.
Occasionally you hear cries from the town, wails, and as I said, there's a good dozen or two clouds of black smoke from the sky. You turn kind of away from that and head eastward toward Balnorn's house.
But Balmera will steel her heart against the screens and the wails and remind herself that they're doing this for the greater good.
The greater good.
Okay.
Good.
You proceed into the forest, It gets thicker and darker. As I said, it's overcast. There's going to be the moon's not going to help you, and as the foliage fills up behind you, even the light that's coming from Cerner becomes dim. So you're traveling in very, very dim light now with these goats sort of weaving your way through the trees. It's quite dark.
Okay.
That's when I say that's quite dark. That's a hint from the DM that you need to do something about light, or you're going to be stumbling and falling.
All right.
I light a torch.
I pull my amulet from under my tin amulet from underneath my shirt, and as was intended, I cast light into the center of it, and you see this concave tin sort of reflects this light and creates this spotlight directly in front of me.
Okay, so I mean this literally and not metaphorically. There is now a beacon of light. You guys continue eastward, following the directions given to you by Bade to locate Balmera's house. When eventually you come to a large clearing that's about 200 yards, 200 meters across. It's a slight valley. It's cleared of trees. You can see a barn, but that's it. There's no house. There's nothing other than that barn kind of sitting about 3/4 of the way across this small valley. And this is where you were told he lives.
Okay. About how far away is it? In distance. I mean, miles wise or feet wise.
The valley is about 200 yards, 200 meters across.
Oh, okay.
And the barn is about 3/4 of the way across.
Okay, so it's not terribly far. All right. So I guess
there's no house. It's a fairly small barn.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to need someplace for the night anyway, so regardless, I mean, the barn is going to give us cover from the elements, so I guess...
yeah, but the point is his house isn't here.
Right.
It's supposed to be.
Well, yeah, but we're not going to be able to search too much, because the night's going to be on us relatively soon, I guess.
It's about 8, 9 in the evening.
There's no, like, the closest giant is presumably ours that direction, right?
Well, an hour anyway.
Yeah.
So I will stand up on and cut my hands around my mouth and just yell out, Balmorn! The lady sent us for you! There was a letter that was brought up here, presumably. So
you have a sealed letter. You do have that, yes.
Yes. So I
There's
will
no
do
response.
I'll do that 2 or
across
3
the
times.
glade. Just the wind.
Yeah. I'll kind of, pick up my amulet and sort of like hold it and like shine it around, looking for any kind of sign.
Again, it's a 30-foot radius, and you got about a clearing of about 200 yards. So.
Yeah.
Nothing immediately around you.
You said the barn was how big, Rob?
Small, smaller than yours. It would probably be suitable for maybe 2 animals, 3 at the most.
That's probably a shed.
So we're not going to get all 4 goats in there.
No.
All right, well, I'm going to walk over and examine the barn anyway.
Yeah.
I will also go ahead and light up my holy symbol. So that
Okay.
as we separate, we're not all blind.
Right.
Is everyone heading towards this barn then? Is anyone not doing that?
Yeah, I'm going to be near it. I'm going to be outside, though. I'm going to remain outside and keep an eye out, like, in the surrounding area. Basically, kind of watching everyone, watching everyone's backs at this point.
All right. When you get within about 150 feet of the barn, you're in the center of the glade, of the sort of the valley at this point.
Yeah.
And you walk into something solid, like bonk, like you bump your nose on it.
What the goat does. Bonk.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I would like everyone to make me a perception check.
Nice.
15 for me.
Yeah, that's a 7 for me.
13.
And I rolled a 6.
So you're the only one who hears it, Jawdat. You hear like a faint, maybe like a low growling or something. It's not really clear. It seems to be coming from somewhere ahead. It sounds muffled.
Okay. Well,
But
whatever
you're looking at nothing except the barn, maybe 100 feet away. Or,
Right, but we obviously ran into something. So giving it a wrap,
Solid,
is it
yep.
is it like a wooden structure?
Yep. Yes.
All right. Well, I'm gonna start, I guess, wrapping and walking down it, trying to figure out where it ends. Basically, I'm trying to determine if it's the side of a building or like a wall that's walled off an area.
It's definitely the side of a building, and after, feeling for a while, the image starts to reveal itself to you, and you can see that there is a house here, a wooden house here, single-story, good-sized wooden house.
Which one of us has the letter?
I don't know.
Whoever it is.
I'm guessing you.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. So I will find the door and rap on the door, or probably not even rap, just like a. And
Okay, so the rest of you, when you see him do this, the illusion becomes less. Doesn't work as well for you. Basically, fails, and this house reveals itself to you. When you pound on the door, Jawdat, there's no response other than that somewhere inside this building is this sort of faint rumbling you're hearing.
yeah, Mr. Belmorn, if that is your dog or wolf or
It's very quiet and muffled.
dire chinchilla. All right. Well, I have a letter from the Lady Lefevre saying that we should come talk to you. Yeah, are you okay inside?
Again, no response. There are windows, but the shades are drawn on any windows.
I'm gonna gingerly try the handle to the door.
It's locked, but it looks like a simple lock.
Yeah. Mr. Belmorn, I am afraid something might be wrong with you. So, because you are a friend of the ladies, we're going to have to enter your home. I kind of looked at Balmera and pointed at the lock.
She gets her thieves' kits out.
Okay.
Glance over to Grimm and pick the right size pick and at the lock.
Does she really, though?
So you got to make a thieves' tool check or something like
Yep.
that. How's that work? The DC is 12.
Yeah.
It's fairly simple.
I guess we'll see if she picked the right one or not.
Right. You know, size doesn't really matter, guys. It's all how you use it.
I rolled a 20, so
Okay, so click.
see it puts the pick back in the kit and kind of smiles at Grimm and steps aside so Jawdat can enter.
You can all hear this faint rumbling now. It's not really getting louder, maybe slightly, but it just seems like.
So I kind of look at everyone else like in sort of the get ready for a demon bear to rush us. That's a very specific look.
What are the odds?
And
I almost
so
got it confused for the demon wolf one, but
almost.
I get it eventually.
Be something like, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Prophecy, made in the 80s, I think.
The Christopher Walken one?
Yeah.
No. Talia Shire was in it. Yeah.
Is it the one with the devil in it and all the angels and stuff?
No. This took place in Maine. It was about.
Was it by Stephen King?
No. It was.
That was me.
the local animals and people being poisoned by methyl mercury, and there's this giant mutated bear that ended up killing some people. Sorry.
So I'm going to go ahead and turn the handle and push the door open.
Okay. So inside you see a living room. There's a kitchen you can see kind of off to the left, and there's a hallway you can see that runs deeper to some other rooms. There's a table and some furniture there. On the couch, you see the source of the sound, which is a passed-out dwarf.
Snoring.
He's got a large ear, snoring, reddish hair, reddish and gray hair hanging there. His head is literally like hanging upside down off the couch.
Is he dead?
Dead.
The snoring
Hell
dead.
no snores.
The snoring dead. It's a new type of zombie.
The AMC show that didn't get picked up.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, so I will rap again very loudly on the door and see if that disturbs him. If not, a handful of snow will.
Well,
Okay.
unless he has a heavy money pouch hanging off his belt that he's not paying attention to.
Men that are obviously visible now.
So
Yes, the warrior. He does not wake to the sounds. The light does reveal no money pouches, but it does reveal a bottle on the floor that's mostly empty.
Great.
Not
So-
far from where his hand is. The
That's very
snow
pessimistic.
the snow
That means
certainly
it
wakes
has a
him up.
little bit in it.
The snow certainly wakes him up, and he comes up sputtering and coughing. Who the hell are you? He rolls over quickly, looking around for maybe a weapon. He sits back. Who the hell are you? What are you doing in here?
I pick up his bottle off the floor and hand it to him. We were sent by Lady LeSevre. She told us to come talk to you.
Ugh. What does she want now?
Well, yeah, we were supposed to ask you to guide us to the Godlands. Is that right? Yeah, somewhere. It's snowy.
Yeah, gargantuan reaches.
The colossal experience.
Colossal
He stands
something.
up. He puts his boots on. He's not wearing a coat or anything, and he steps outside and starts pissing. He nods.
Also, Cerner is being attacked by giants.
Aye, he says sadly. He finishes, he comes in, he clears some stuff off the table, just kind of pushes it onto the floor. Sit, have a seat. He goes to a cabinet, pulls out a bottle, grabs it down. There's several more bottles in there. Help yourself. He sits down, heavily on the couch. What does she want now?
There
You can
is.
see that he's probably about 300 years old for a dwarf. He's well on his age, but not, decrepit or weakened yet.
There is a place that she believes she has found, and that you could help us find the exact location.
He shrugs. There's little in the colossal expanse I did not know how to find, but I don't know what she's searching for. It's always something with her.
We have the directions and everything.
Sit.
Yeah, I'm sitting.
We're not going anywhere. Well, that goes on.
So, I find it. I find
Balmera.
it.
Who am I speaking to?
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
Tolraun.
I'm Grimm. We are the.
He looks around the room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Balmera will remove some of his socks from the couch and sit down there. My name is Balmera.
gives you the dwarven handshake. Help yourself there, Balmera. There's some dwarven rum up there.
We are the
God
guardians of
knows
Crossmeet.
humans don't know how to make it right. No offense.
We are the guardians of Crossmeet, and recently secured its safety from a rather large iron golem that sailed the town.
Impressive, I'm sure. He,
I'll show you impressive.
He's drinking from the bottle. He opens the letter. He reads it. He sighs. Damn that woman. I told her I was retired. I spent 100 years out there fighting God knows what, every manner of beast and critter there is. I did not want to be visiting again in this lifetime.
So, regarding the giants, this happens a lot?
This happened last evening. It began. About 10 days ago, a friend of mine came by, a former soldier of mine. He told me that there was plenty of movement out in the colossal expanse, at least for a place that's supposed to be largely deserted. Giants fighting giants. I don't know what that madness is about. When I was in the giant wars, they were working together. This, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I know that I alone could certainly not help the city against a force like that.
Seems a lot has changed recently.
So
this is why I want to live out my days here, not be traipsing off into some godforsaken Arctic. Ugh, had enough of the cold.
So this colossal expanse is home of the giants?
Oh, giants, Saladrin, Nadri, Yetai, Remoraz, ice worms, dragons perhaps, many things. Polar bears.
Polar bears.
Oh shit!
Yeah. all the rest doesn't matter, but polar bears.
No
Dragons,
squirrel.
no problem.
Snow
Polar bears.
squirrel.
Whoa, hey, whoa! No one mentioned polar bears.
He just kind of has the letter sitting there, like he just leaves it on the couch, and he's drinking from the bottle.
I mean, we certainly understand your predicament, and it's not that we are going out there for our amusement or anything like that.
I'm sure she's paying well. She's always paid well. I cannot say anything against that.
Oh yeah, I guess he pays well.
He sits there just sipping from the bottle. Seemed terribly moved
So you're willing to help us, or
Is it worth it out there searching for something she doesn't even know what?
Oh, we can make it worth it. You know. About what we find out there, right?
What is it you seek? Fame, riches? These are not reasons to risk your life.
I kind of think about it a moment, and I seek peace.
Peace. Peace would be wonderful. If it were possible. Peace is what I have here. Peace is what I have now.
Well, since the giant now come knocking.
Yeah,
at
for
the
how long?
doorstep.
If if there's chaos outside our walls, outside our borders, it's only a matter of time before it finds us.
The kingdom is vulnerable, and this mythalma maybe, possibly could produce a solution
A potential solution, maybe.
to something.
He looks at you, Tolraun. Where do ye hail from?
I come from Manrock.
Sit this in the front. Make a persuasion roll.
13.
Have any of you ever been to the Colossal Expanse before? Have you traveled through it?
I shake my head. No.
'Tis unforgiving, cold, bleak. Most everything you'll encounter there wants to do you harm. Few places for respite and to hold up. The lady says that this, whatever she seeks now, is that mystic's blessing. I will lead you to this spot, but no more. Whatever you find there, whatever you must do there, you'll do it without my assistance. I will get you there. And that's it. And you tell the lady never again.
Seems fair.
It's I guess all we can ask for.
Stay the night if you like. We'll leave it light. He stands up. He walks toward a back room with the kind of hanging his head. He's got his arm is hanging, holding a bottle. He's dragging his feet a little bit. He goes into one of the rooms.
I kind of just watch him go as we all sort of watch him go. I say, it's not going to be us, is it?
It's going to be us in another decade if we spend it all like working for Lady Lysaeva trying to find Mythalma.
I hope it is not us. His peace, what you seek, Grimm, his peace is no less an illusion than the one we saw outside. It's something to hide behind, but it's not real.
I don't think any of us should call this guy out on it. I think he may have lost something during his work for Lady Lysaeva.
Yeah. Are we all losing something?
I suppose.
Yeah, I've already lost plenty.
Anyway, let's hitch the goats, get some sleep, and hope the giants don't stand on us in the night.
Mm-hmm.
So out by the barn is closed, but it's a simple bar you could lift. Inside the barn, there is a goat and a small horse. There's plenty of feed, though, but you guys have plenty of goat feed as well. These goats, they're perfectly fine staying outside overnight in these conditions. It's not nearly cold enough or freezing enough that they need to worry about exposure yet. They'd have to get a lot worse. Inside the house, you can find a second bedroom that Balmera isn't in. There's a kitchen with a larder. It's well stocked. There is a bar that's well stocked. You guys can certainly eat. There's a fireplace. There are rugs, fur rugs you could curl up on, or there's a couch, or there's as I said, a second room with a bed.
I'm gonna grab a small loaf of bread, a small chunk of cheese, a bottle of something that looks like wine, as best I can tell, and I'll just kind of move over to one of the corners, where I'll just kind of pad the corner with my gear, wrap the winter cloak sort of around me, pull the hood down, making kind of this little pocket in there, and I'll just sit there and nibble on bread and cheese and sipping on wine for the evening.
Okay.
So basically, from the outside, this kind of see this pile of fur with this little kind of thin line of darkness with these eyes sort of reflecting in it, and the occasional sound of chewing and a gulp of drinking.
Okay. Both Balmera and Tolraun, you would notice little symbols around this house, little pins and things like that suggest that this guy was a member of the King's Army, which is also what Lady of the Silver told you. Unless you guys want to do anything tonight, the evening's going to pass without incident, except for the occasional whiff of burning smoke that reaches the cabin. Just the smell. No, it's not the smoke.
I'm going to sleep out in the barn for a couple of different reasons. One, to start getting acclimated to the cold.
Okay.
Two, so that if at some point I have to try and get control of his goat, it'll be a little more familiar with me than, hey, first time this guy's near me. And three, because I'm going to make myself a little tiny fire, and I'm going to sit up for a good portion of the night praying and questioning whether or not maybe Joaquin hasn't taken enough of a physical role in this if Cerner is literally half a day away and is this far under siege. I mean, even if it's not within her judicial outreach to handle it herself, we didn't receive word back in town when it first started happening. There does seem to be a little lack of direct influence, and it'll probably end with the resolution of maybe that's why I'm here. Not that I'm going to save the world, but because direct intervention is not necessarily something the gods do often. But yeah.
Cool.
Save the half off, save the will.
Okay, so the evening passes without incident, other than the occasional whiff of burning smoke and stuff which reaches you. In the morning, you're perhaps a little surprised that Balnor gets up fairly early. When he comes out of his room, he is dressed in full. He's ready to go. He's got his traveling gear on, his armor. It's a combination of chain with fur. He's got a helmet with two. It's a brass helmet. He's got an axe, a double-bladed axe, which is magnificent. It's got inlaid with runes. He says, "One more time, then. Let's do it." You can see his beard, which is all white now, sticking out beneath his garb. And he heads out to the barn to fetch his goat, and we'll call it right there, and we can set it into the colossal expansion there.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, so thank you everyone for watching. We'll do this again next week, and we'll see how the party deals with this Arctic trek.
In fairness, there's only about a 60% chance we're doing this again next week because it's a Friday before I get married. I may be tied up, but as of right now, I should make it.
Okay. Yeah. It's going to take probably several sessions to get to Mystic's Blessing. Anyway. All right. So thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next week, probably.